This is not a test. This is your emergency broadcast system announcing the commencement of Phatts TV, sanctioned by PA Phatts and the non-genetically proven son. Any and all words have been authorized during the show. There is nothing off limits. Nobody is restricted from watching and participating in the show. It is a free-for-all. Commencing at the siren, any and all discussions will be legal for an extended period of time. Sports, politics, and any and all controversial topics will be talked about. You have been warned. May God be with us all.
And good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Phatts TV on this Thursday night, January 20th, 2022. Special later in the evening edition of Phatts TV, which means it's past my bedtime. So take whatever I say tonight with a grain of salt.
Only 9 o'clock.
Past my bedtime, I'm old. Joining me as always in the upper left-hand portion of the screen, deep in his underground bunker in the heart of Center County, Pennsylvania, the one, the only, the non-genetically proven son. How goes it? So, I wanted to start the show talking about something specific. And then I heard something in the last 10 minutes before the show started that I feel the need to bring up. So, you can imagine, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, that there's, since we're in different studios,
Sure.
There's some give and take going on. And, we have production assistants running in and out of the studios. Before we start. And I overheard the non-genetically proven son telling one of the production assistants, yeah, I just yank it.
What?
That's what you said. I heard you say it. Yeah, I would just yank it.
He asked my roommate to pull his arm, and he said not hard.
And you said, yeah, I would just yank it.
Don't make this a sexual thing.
Yeah, I would just yank it. Hello, Kiana. Apparently, your other half is just yanking it.
Yeah.
It's a good thing we can't see the lower half of his body right now.
Wow.
I will try not to look at the screen in case you start making weird faces. That's all I'm going to say.
All right.
So we ended last week's show with a question.
Yeah?
Do you remember the question?
I believe so.
Would you like to repeat what the question was?
Is it the shaving one?
It was the waxing one.
Oh, the waxing.
The waxing.
Well, it's wax / shave, whatever.
It was wax. Wax and yank. Speaking
All
of
right,
yanking.
so if he had a girlfriend who wanted their asshole waxed,
bunghole.
would you do it? Would you do it?
Would you wax your girlfriend's bunghole?
If she wanted to. And then, if she wanted to wax your bunghole, would you do it?
Yes. So we got a lot of responses to that this week.
Did we?
We did. Most of you perverted fuckers were all for it. Some of you, at least, were like me that were willing to do it to your girlfriend / wife, but you ain't. No, they ain't touching mine.
No.
All although you would think, you know, that's a pretty meaty, fatty area back there. It's probably wouldn't hurt as much.
Actually, I think that would make it hurt more.
I don't know. Like, if you just had, like, a skin and bone bunghole, I could see where that would hurt. But if you got a lot of, you know, if you got a, like one that's, like, really good at, you know, smacking around.
Okay.
Like a bubble bunghole.
Okay.
That might not hurt quite as much. So our message board, as always, is live and operational should you wish to chime in. Let me know if any of you tried it this week. Did you?
No.
No? Good. I'd have to start wondering about you. Good. Very good. Very good. You're a bunch of perverted sick fuckers out there, I tell you. I tell you. I tell you. So, then my buddy Nick, who's a frequent watcher of the show.
Mm-hmm.
We call him Pegs. That's what we call him. You're not going to ask me why we call him Pegs?
Well, I know why we call him Pegs.
Yes. Yeah, so we call him Pegs. Not because he's got a thing for redheads on, you know, Peggy Bundy. That's not why we call him Pegs. We call him Pegs because he's got a pirate leg. Unfortunate circumstance that happened, but you know what? He's a good guy about it. You could joke with him about it, because at any time he might fucking grab the thing and sock you one right up the head.
You might deserve that.
So I call Pegs earlier today
Uh-huh.
to see how he's doing. You know,
You put a eye patch on and bandana.
because I heard a parrot in the background. I don't know if he's watching tonight. It might be past his bedtime too. I'll keep an eye on you. Keep an eye on the message board too if he were to chime in.
Okay.
So I call him up to see how he's doing. He's like, "Can I call you back?" I'm like, "No." He goes, I really need to call you back. I'm like, Are you with a woman? You know, I can understand if you're with a woman that you got to call me back. I'm fine with that. He's like, no, I'm not with a woman. Like, dude, Pegs, you fucking lie at this point and say, yeah, that's why I got to call you back. I mean, come on. Do I got to teach you everything? So I said, fine. I said, are you on the shitter? And he assured me he wasn't on the shitter either. So I said, fine, call me back. So it takes him a little while to call me back, like an hour to call me back. So I'm like, are you sure you weren't with a woman? And he's like, yeah, I'm sure. Trust me, I would know. Like, I would hope you would know. So then, of course, I brought up, because he was watching last week's show, I said, were you waxing? And he assured me he wasn't waxing. But he said he spilled coffee all over the place. Now, I don't know what that Pegs is made out of, if it's made out of wood or metal or titanium, but dude, you just got the fucking thing. Now it's going to get all rusted. Seriously, like, you know, like when it bends, you know, it's gonna get like it'll start to creak, like kind of, you know, like a fence when you try to swing the door of a fence, it makes that noise.
Mm-hmm.
Come on, Pegs.
Get some WD-40, you'll be fine.
You got a point there. As long as it's not wood. If it's wood, the fucking thing probably got 3 times as big.
Yeah.
Because once the liquid got in there, it would expand. Good old Pegs. Gotta love Pegs. He must be asleep because he would have commented on all this. Knowing Pegs. I'll have to talk to him tomorrow and tell him I'm very disappointed that we talked about him exclusively for 2.5 hours. And he wasn't watching. Good old Pegs. So, one of the best things in the history of this country happened 5 years ago today. Yes.
Did you have a really good bowel movement?
I waxed.
Yeah.
Yes. So at noon 5 years ago today, person raised his right hand, put his left hand on a couple Bibles, and he took an oath. An oath to preserve and protect the Constitution of the United States. And then a year ago, on the same date, some dopehead did the same exact thing.
Yeah.
So which one should we talk about first? Should we talk about the good guy or should we talk about the dopehead?
Dopehead.
Let's talk about the dopehead. So the dopehead has a press conference yesterday.
Oh.
Grandpa Joe. Grandpa Joe. And in this press conference, he actually... I'm not going to say he actually had the balls because, you know, he's 81 or 82. They're shriveled up anyway. But he actually said that he's he's exceeded his expectations.
Yes, he didn't destroy the country yet.
It's like, was the bar that fucking low?
It was pretty low.
I mean, seriously, was the bar that low?
It was underground.
It's like, you gotta be freaking kidding me. A reporter asked him, says, inflation is up, your legislation is stalled, voter reform is going to fail, COVID-19 is still taking lives, and the nation's divisions are still as raw as over a year ago. Did you overpromise? Grandpa Joe's response, I didn't overpromise, but I had probably outperformed.
We got a lot done. And there's a lot more still to do.
He's outperformed. Outperformed. May I remind you, his poll numbers continue to drop. Last I saw, they were at 33%.
I'm surprised they're even that high.
Well, you know, they do have to ask some Democrats.
At 33%, you're still telling me 20% of Democrats still don't. Actually, it'd be 40%.
Yeah.
If they do 50-50. 40% of Democrats don't approve.
So I saw a poll last night.
Okay.
On who the front runner is for 2024 in the Democratic primary. Of course, it was Grandpa Joe. But then they asked, who would you vote for if Grandpa Joe doesn't run? Any guess who was the top vote getter?
Either Hillary or Kamala.
Neither.
All right.
Neither. Kamala was second.
Let's use our thinking cap here.
Hillary was down at like 7%. She was like 4th or 5th.
Are you going to say the guy you used to love?
No.
Okay.
No, he registered at 0% on the Republican side.
Oh shit. Nancy.
No.
She's a little old.
Anybody else with a guess?
I'm thinking. Do I know this person?
Yes. Like, not personally.
Bernie.
No.
He's old too.
He is old. He's an old fuck.
Cortez or whatever.
No, not AOC. Nope.
That would have been funny if you said AOC.
Yeah. No. Would you like a hint?
Yes, I'd like a hint.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, the top vote getter for the Democratic Party, if Grandpa Joe...
I got it.
Okay.
Rachel.
No.
Damn it. Rachel Levine, come on. I
No.
vote for her. Him? I don't know.
No. The top vote getter in the Democratic Party, if Grandpa Joe decides not to run, this person has no fucking clue about politics. Has no fucking clue about anything. This person has one claim to fame. One. And when I tell you what this person's claim to fame is, you're going to know who I'm talking about.
Okay.
They went on the Ellen DeGeneres show and was doing this, letting her schlong hit her fucking pants.
Really? Michelle Obama?
Yes.
She wouldn't win.
Her fucking schlong was hitting her pants. If you don't believe me, watch the video.
I think you could beat her out.
She's probably... she's got a pretty big schlong by that video.
I just general election. I don't think she would stand a chance.
Non-genetically proven son. Tell me I'm lying that in that video there was something looked shaped in the area of a fucking penis hitting her pants.
You're not lying.
It's going ding, 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 ding. Telling you. She's a chick with a dick.
Could you imagine another 8 years with an Obama?
For you guys out there, if your girlfriend, who's got a dick, wants you to wax...
Wait. You know why she wouldn't win?
What?
She won't carry the college vote.
You don't think?
No, because she's the one that ruined our lunches.
She is. They'd have to bring that up. The people would have to bring that up. She fucked up your lunch.
Remember that?
She fucked up your lunches when you were in middle school.
That's right.
Yes.
She made them healthier and smaller.
Yes.
You're hungry when you got home. That's not good.
Yes, she fucked up your lunches when you were in middle school.
She's not carrying the college vote. Or the young adult vote. We remember.
We remember. The North remembers. So 5 years ago today, the good guy took the oath of office. And those in Washington set out, along with those in the media, to destroy him ever since that day. So we're going to go back. We're going to play like a 2-minute clip of his inauguration address. Something everybody should watch quite often, because you can see why people like me support the guy. Again, it's a 2-minute clip. And you could understand even if you don't like him, just listen to the words that he said about what he wanted to do in his time as president. And you can understand how that flies against what Washington is all about. So they set out to destroy him. So here's the clip. It's like 1 minute and 42 seconds long. So it's not all that long. So here we go.
Today's ceremony, however, has very special meaning. Because today, we are not merely transferring power from one administration to another, or from one party to another, but we are transferring power from Washington, D.C., and giving it back to you, the people. For too long, a small group in our nation's capital has reaped the rewards of government while the people have borne the cost. Washington flourished, but the people did not share in its wealth. Politicians prospered, but the jobs left and the factories closed. The establishment protected itself, but not the citizens of our country. Their victories have not been your victories. Their triumphs have not been your triumphs. And while they celebrated in our nation's capital, there was little to celebrate for struggling families all across our land. That all changes starting right here and right now, because this moment is your moment. It belongs to you.
So you can see why the media and those insiders in Washington on both sides of the political aisle set out to destroy the man right from the start.
Just to throw in a little piece, if you ever look up Trump rally videos, find that video where they use those words. Insanely good video.
Yes.
Always gave me little goosebumps.
Yes.
Always a really good video.
Yes. I used to like, when we used to go to his rallies, the video that they played, it was like a 2.5 minute video, like before he got there. They would play it like 2 or 3 times. In and amongst listening to the Elton John concert.
And the Billie Jean concert.
And the Michael Jackson concert.
No, just Billie Jean.
Just Billie Jean.
Just Billie Jean concert.
And Phil Collins in the air tonight. And
yeah. They played like 6 songs on loop.
All right, let's talk some playoff football.
Woo!
So we had a couple 2-tree games last week.
6.
We gave our picks.
Yeah.
We both went 6-0 straight up.
Woo!
So
wasn't too hard to pick though.
So our bracket is still intact.
I have the Final Four. I predicted it before the first week of the season. Not that it was really hard to predict.
Okay, wait. You predicted the Final Four in the NFC.
NFC, yes.
Yes.
NFC. Hey, that's impressive. If I had the seedings right, that'd even be more impressive.
That would have been impressive, but you didn't. You fucked up.
Oh, but I still got the matchups now, didn't I? Everything has to fall into place just to get the matchups.
Yes. I want to talk about how Dallas fucked that game up.
Yeah, just a little.
Message to the Dallas Cowboys coaching staff. You don't run the ball with 14 seconds left to go and you have no timeouts. I don't want to hear that the officials should have spotted the ball sooner. I don't want to hear it. If Dak stands up with the ball, gives it to the official, maybe they would have spotted it sooner. there was so much stupidity in that game. I mean, San Francisco should have had the first down before that, but for some reason, on a fourth down play...
Josh doesn't want us to talk about it.
Yeah, well, fuck you, Josh. We're going to talk about it. On that fourth down play, why would you put people in motion?
Yeah, that's so true.
Like, why would you shift the lineman when you're running right up the middle anyway? For like that far. You had to get that far, so let's shift the lineman from the left side of the line to the right side of the line when I'm running it right up the middle.
Oh, I want to mention something. So, when he was this short, the ref went like this. It says, when you break up with your ex and she starts posting about you. Go back ahead. Go ahead. I just wanted to mention that.
But seriously, why do you shift your players on the line? It's like,
I don't know.
What the fuck are you thinking? There was so many of what the fuck are you thinking in that game. The Dallas player, was called for defensive holding, like the defensive lineman was called for defensive holding twice.
Oh, one of them was bad. Like, he had no reason.
Well, he choke holded the guy. It's like, what the?
And they were both on third down.
It was the same player that did it.
And they didn't get it either time.
It's like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, Dallas had 14 penalties.
But then Dak was an asshole after the game. And I've lost all respect for the man. I've seriously lost all respect for the man after the game. I never had a problem with Dak. He's not the greatest quarterback in the world. Watch him throw 10 slant patterns and see how many he completes. It's not many.
6, 7, maybe.
He's not really that good at throwing slants. Might want to practice that in the offseason. Just saying, you might want to practice that in the offseason. But if you saw some video, there were some players some fans throwing shit at. Some people thought it was Dallas Cowboy players. Some people thought it was at the refs. Or it could have been both. Who knows? So when Dak was asked about it by the reporters, he went on this spiel about, you should never, the players are out there trying their hardest. Of course we wanted to win the game. We give our heart and soul on every play, blah, 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 blah. And then a reporter says, well, they might have been throwing shit at the officials, to which Dak responds, oh, well, then that's okay. No, you fucking asshole. It's not okay. And for some reason, he was only fined $25,000 for that comment. It's not okay. You are the face of the franchise. The feed me more guy is not the face of the franchise anymore. He's old. He's fucking washed up, just like most running backs are after about 5 years. Feed me more. Feed me more. Typical fucking Ohio State player.
Hey, Adrian Peterson was good for a while.
Yeah. Dak, you are the face of the team. And I don't care if you were joking. I don't care if you were serious. I don't care if you're caught off guard. You can't say, oh, well, it was okay that they were throwing shit at the officials. You can't fucking say that. Thank you.
At least those officials will be back, unlike the Bengals officials that were like banned from the rest of the playoffs.
I do like I'm pretty sure it was the referee for the Cincinnati game. I've always liked him just for the way he says holding. You gotta listen to it. He doesn't say holding. He says Holden.
Holden.
And whenever, like, I hear it, I make fun of it. It's like, Holden. That's how he says it. Holden. He doesn't say holding. It's Holden.
Hey, I want to know why in the Rams game, why was the head referee wearing a white hat? I've never seen that before.
Because they ran out of black ones?
I don't know. I've never seen a ref wear a white hat.
Back in the day when I was younger, they all wore white hats.
Well, I think it looked pretty stupid.
Holden! Holden! Holden. It's Hoden. Holden.
Slicing.
Holden. Offense. I do love the way he says it. Holden. Ebonics, my friend. Ebonics.
Yeah, you get like 8 holdings a game, so he says it a lot.
Yeah. Hooked on phonics did not work for him. But you got to hand it to whoever's great idea it was to put 7 teams in the playoffs. You got to admit, the Tampa, Philly, and the Kansas City-Pittsburgh game were really close. They went right down to the wire.
It was nice to see the Pittsburgh, the Eagles, the Patriots, and Dallas all losing the same weekend.
Yeah.
You can throw out Pittsburgh, they're not, but those other 3 fan bases are pretty freaking annoying.
Sorry, Josh.
Dallas is probably the best out of those 3.
Yeah, probably.
The Patriots fans are really annoying.
No, Eagles fans
are extremely annoying.
The best thing that ever happened to the Eagles fan base was when they won the NFC Championship game, the guy that was following the subway that ran right into the pole.
That was hilarious.
Find that video, you'll get a good laugh out of it. Don't know how the guy even lived. That had to freaking hurt. Yeah. He's running along, didn't even see the pole, and wham! That had to hurt. Alright, so we made picks on last week's games.
We did.
Mandatory 1 pick each. So let's go over the results. In the Vegas-Cincinnati game,
yep,
you had Vegas plus 3.5 in the first half.
Right.
Loser.
They ended up playing a first half like they were really tired.
Yeah.
The second half like they had a week and a half worth of rest.
Yes. I played Cincinnati Vegas under 24.5 in the first half. Loser.
Was it?
Yes. They scored 30 points in the first half.
Oh.
In the New England Buffalo game, you were really close here. You had New England plus 4.5.
Yeah, I said New England was going to be winning that game the whole game until the experience of the Bills would take them in the lead late by 3 or 4.
Maybe if you had New England plus 4.5 for the first minute and a half of the game, you would have covered.
Yeah, I might have covered that.
Loser.
Big loser.
I had New England Buffalo longest field goal under 46.5 yards. Winner, winner. You suck kicking field goals dinner. Now for the one somebody got a little lucky on.
I didn't get lucky.
He was yanking it.
No, I'll explain after you say something.
Philly, Tampa. He took Tom Brady's passing yards under 271.5. Tom Brady had 271 passing yards.
All right, this is what I don't understand. He had like 180 when they were up 31-0. Why is Tom Brady, 1, still playing? 2, why are you passing the ball? Stop passing it.
Did you win or did you lose?
Yes, I won, but it was much more stressful than it should have been. I thought I lost. I figured I lost because he was at like 250 yards with like 10 minutes to go. So I said, screw it, I lost that.
Winner, winner, Tom Brady dinner.
Woo!
I had Gronk to score a touchdown.
I texted you about 3 seconds after that happened. Because it happened, I went, no freaking way. He was wide open. And then he did his little spike.
Doing, 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 doing. Doing, 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 doing. Winner, winner, Gronk dinner. San Francisco, Dallas. You had San Francisco +3. Good pick, good pick, good pick.
Thank you, Dak.
This is the one I got fucked over on. I had San Francisco team total over 23.5.
Yeah.
They scored 23.
Yeah. Woo, good pick.
When they scored that touchdown to get 23 and to make it 22, I was screaming at them to go for 2. They did not.
I'm sure you were.
They couldn't hear my big fucking voice, or else I'm sure they would have. Pittsburgh, Kansas City. Steelers team total over 16.5. You got there late.
Didn't I say I'd get there late?
You did?
I said I was going to get there and be a garbage time touchdown. And
Yep.
what was it? A garbage time touchdown.
Yep.
What would have pissed me off is if they needed to score on that last damn play and he got tackled at the 1. That would have pissed me off.
He didn't get tackled at the 1.
He was tackled inside the 5.
He wasn't tackled in the 1.
Okay, then the 2.
I had to sweat out my play because I thought I lost it. I had Kansas City first half -7.5. And with like 10 minutes to go in the first half, it was 7-0 Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
And then Kansas City scored 3 straight touchdowns to end the first half.
Then he scored 2 touchdowns in the first 5 minutes. I thought you had Big Ben passing yards.
I said we could correlate a parlay with Big Ben passing yards, which missed by, I think, 11, if I remember correctly.
Unfortunate.
And then in the final game, you had the over 49.5, which was a loser.
Yeah, because Kyler Murray played like a freaking high school quarterback.
I had Kyler Murray to score a touchdown.
How'd that work out?
So we both went 3-3.
Respectable.
Not bad. Not bad. Not our best efforts. So we turn to this week.
Woo!
So as always, as stated right here on Phatts TV, last week I said the redheaded stepchild always gets the early game on Saturday.
And they got the early game on
Saturday. And they got the early game on Saturday. Your Cincinnati Bengals going up against the #1 seed, Tennessee Titans. So, we'll give a little prognostication on the game. We'll say who we think is going to win straight up. I'm assuming neither of us are going to change from what we have in our bracket, since our bracket is still perfect. Then we'll give a forced pick on if we have to take a side. And then our pick, we can pick anything, just like we did last week. So currently at Barstool, oh my darling, whoa my darling, oh my darling Clementine, she wants me to wax her bunghole, oh my darling Clementine. Tennessee at the moment, and this is a change since the last time I looked, they are a 4-point favorite with an over-under of 47.5. Want to give a little prognostication on what you think might happen here?
Like?
As in, what do you think is going to happen in the game?
I'm a little worried about Tennessee's offense because you got Henry coming back.
Yeah.
We're going to change our offense again. I feel like that could be a bad thing. Yes, do you have the best running back in the league or one of? Sure. We do. But I think not playing with him for what, 10 weeks?
Something like that. Fucked up my fantasy football team.
is going to hurt them. So I think they might get off to a slow start. I don't think they'll ever come back.
Got ya.
I honestly think they're an overrated 1 seed as well.
Got ya. Okay.
I think the 2 seed and the 3 seed in the AFC would pound the Titans.
Okay. Okay. So, I'm slightly different than you. First off, let's just say the weather forecast for all 4 games is fine. No bad weather.
I mean, if you want to count Green Bay as fine at 6 degrees.
Well, yeah, but what I mean is no precipitation, no wind either, which is important. Just cold up in Green Bay. But other than that, I mean, Buffalo seemed to handle the cold just fine last week.
Well, Buffalo is cold. It's like Green Bay there.
So here's my thing about the Tennessee-Cincinnati game. I have a different take on the game than you do, which makes sense because in our bracket, we have opposite picks here.
That we do.
Joe Burrow's best games of the year, QBR-wise, were against teams that blitz a lot. Pittsburgh, Baltimore, teams like that. Tennessee is in the bottom 5 of teams that blitz. They blitz less than 20% of the time. They like to fall back. They get to the passer, which is 4 guys. They don't blitz. They fall back and play. I'm worried about Burrow's first away playoff game. I mean, let's look last week. New England, first road playoff game. Didn't look too good. Philly, first road playoff game. Didn't look too good. We have history of quarterbacks. First road playoff game. Not looking too good. So I have Tennessee winning this game. I'm assuming you have Cincinnati winning this game.
Yes, I have the Bagels winning the game.
Yeah. The redheaded stepchild.
Yeah.
Now, I will say, back in the day, on this weekend, this was always the easiest weekend to handicap football games. Always. Because you always had 4 teams that were coming off of a bye week and 4 teams that weren't. And so many times the home teams would just win the game and cover. It was very easy. It's not that way anymore. It wouldn't shock me if any of these 4 away teams win this week. That wouldn't shock me at all. Any of them. I believe you have 2 away teams winning in your bracket.
I do.
I have 2 away teams winning in my bracket. I believe, well, obviously we're not matching here because this game we differ.
Yeah.
But that wouldn't surprise me at all. I think this has the ability to be a higher scoring game. Cincinnati has some injuries on their defensive side of the ball. That isn't going to help. They are, I believe I heard it today, the second worst defense stat-wise on first down. So now you're putting Tennessee's quarterback in a position of a lot of 2nd and 5s instead of 2nd and 9s. Lots of quarterbacks excel at 2nd and 5, and they don't excel at 2nd and 9. So I like Tennessee to win this game outright. Forced pick. Obviously, if you like Cincinnati to win the game outright, you like Cincinnati plus the points.
Yeah.
No brainer there. I would be looking at you funny. Like, no, I'm taking Tennessee minus the points. Huh? What? I will take Tennessee minus the points. I will take Tennessee minus the points. I think they pull away in the second half of the game simply because of Cincinnati's defensive injuries, and you got Joe Burrow in his first road game.
Cigar, mouth, not ass.
I mean, Joe Burrow's good, but he's not Sanchez good, who took the Jets on the road and won like his first 3 road playoff games.
Yeah, butt fumble.
All right, so our bet for this game. What's your play? It could be any play that's sitting on Barstool Sports' website right now.
So mine is the Bengals team total over 10.5 in the first half.
Cincy over 10.5 first half.
Yes.
Okay. Any particular reason why you like that bet?
I could see them easily getting a couple of touchdowns in the first half. I was thinking more of like a 14-10, maybe 17-13 and a half kind of game.
Okay.
So I like Cincy to get 11 points.
Got it. My play is something actually very similar. I have first half over 23.5. As I just said, I think there could be some points scored in this game. Although I think there will be more points scored in the second half than the first half, because I think Cincinnati's defense is going to get worn out. I'm hoping for over 23 first half. All right, so you have Cincy over 10.5 first half. I have Cincy, Tennessee over 23.5 first half. Game number 2, the Saturday night game. Green Bay Packers against the San Francisco 49ers. Green Bay is currently a 5.5 point favorite at Barstool with an over-under of 47.5. Same over-under as the other game. All right. What say you in your prognostication of this game?
All right. Well, we got a team from San Francisco. Generally a warm place. Going into Green Bay. It's supposed to be between 0 and 6 degrees.
For an overnight low. So probably at game time, it'll be in the teens. Lower teens, probably.
And that's why they're going to lose.
That's cold.
Green Bay player, that's nothing. If it was snowing, it'd be over already. We wouldn't even have to play the game. We wouldn't have to play the game. But the 49ers did almost beat the Packers, but at home.
They did.
At home.
They did.
So the Packers won by, what, 2?
Yes, on a field goal in the last minute of the game. 30, I believe the final score was 30-28.
So the board would say that the Packers will win by 7. No, 8. 8.
Okay.
If you wanted to home field advantage.
If you say home field is 3.
Yeah. So I'm going to stick on that. I'm also going to take the Packers to cover the 5.5.
Okay. So you have Green Bay straight up and Green Bay minus the 5.5.
Yes.
Okay.
I don't love the 5.5, but since it's forced, I'd rather have the home team here, especially with 2-week breaks.
Got it. Although you didn't do that in the last game.
No, I don't, because I think the Titans are overrated.
Got ya.
The Packers are not overrated.
So
Maybe a little biased there.
So this is another game where the 49ers defense could be without several key players. Joey Bosa, Wilson, I believe the other guy's name is.
They don't have Bosa. I'm pretty sure that's already a thing.
Last I saw, he's still questionable. On StatFox, he's listed as questionable.
Okay.
Wilson, I believe the guy's name is. And one other potentially good defensive player. If you're out 3 starters, that's tough. That's tough.
And 2 ends out, cornerback out.
I think this has the potential, though, to be another high-scoring game. Because San Fran has some injuries on the defensive side of the ball. And B, what San Fran does well on the offensive side of the ball, that's Green Bay's weak point on their defense, and that's stopping the run. So I think you're going to see a lot of runs and a lot of short passes for San Francisco. Interestingly, since 2014, I heard a stat today. Since 2014, there have been 101 quarterbacks, individual quarterbacks, start a game where the temperature at kickoff was less than 40 degrees.
Okay.
Jimmy Garoppolo is not one of them. So he's never played a game, unless if he did when he was with New England, in under 40 degrees. Now, I forget what years he was with New England before he got traded out to San Fran. So, you don't know how he's going to be in the cold. Plus, he has a little bit of a nicked up shoulder now, besides that issue with his wrist and his hand. Now he's got a shoulder problem. So there's a chance that he might have to get pulled during the game. If Trey Lance is coming, game's over. On the other side, Green Bay's getting healthier and healthier and healthier. They've gotten a lot of their players back from injuries.
6 or 7 coming back this game.
Yes. The 49ers have nobody to cover Devontae Adams. In their first game, he had 18 targets. That's a lot of targets.
He has more.
That's a lot of targets. You know, think about it. That's over 4 a quarter. That's a lot of targets. So, I will say that the side that we're forcing ourselves to pick, of the 4 games, this is the hardest one for me. I'm going to take Green Bay only because I don't think San Francisco is very healthy. If San Francisco was as healthy as Green Bay is, I would take the 5.5 or 6. It's been 6 most of the week. I'm surprised it's come down to 5.5 with all the potential injuries. I would probably take the 6, but because of all the injuries, I'm matching you. Green Bay is my side. Now, for our play, what do you have?
Despite all the things you just said,
yeah,
I knew some of them.
Yeah.
I have Jimmy G over 237.5 yards passing.
Well, if he's losing, he's going to have to pass.
Exactly. I think he's going to have to pass most of the second half.
What is it, 237?
And a half.
237.5. Okay.
I think somewhere towards the end-ish, when the Packers are playing prevent, because they're up.
Lot of garbage.
Yeah, something garbage, and he'll get 80 yards passing in that drive, and that'll push him over.
Okay. So my play is somewhat similar, actually, but not really. So the one area in the passing game that Green Bay does not do well is cover the tight end. So I'm taking George Kittle to have more than 46.5 receiving yards. San Francisco's tight end. He averages like 64 on the season. So I think I'm getting a premium. I'm getting an 18-yard premium off of his average on a team that doesn't cover the tight end well to begin with. And he did have like 60 or 70 yards in their first game, if I remember correctly. I could be wrong on that, though. Okay. On to the Sunday games. First game at 3 o'clock. Shocker. The LA Rams at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Presently, the line has come down a little bit. Tampa is a 2.5-point favorite with an over-under of 48. How do you see this game going?
How do I see this game going? I don't know. I have predictions. I don't think the Rams are going to play like they just did.
No. Oh, my God, no.
If the Rams play like that, they'll win the Super Bowl.
Yes.
But that's just not going to happen. As much as I would like to see them win this game, I just don't see them getting past Brady. Brady will figure out how to win just because it's Tom Brady, and we all know that.
Mm-hmm.
As much as I want to say the Rams are the better team, and they probably are the better team, they have a very underclassed quarterback.
They do. And if you recall, that was my worry about last week. It was how he was going to play.
I'm not 100% convinced on Stafford yet.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe in like 2 years, if he's still playing, yeah, sure, I'm all for it. But not in his first year.
Mm-hmm. So I'm assuming that means you're taking Tampa to win the game outright.
Yes, and I'm taking Tampa, giving the 2.5.
Minus the 2.5. And Tampa is what you had on your bracket too, right?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Well, I had the Rams winning this game on my bracket. So obviously I'm going to continue with that, which also means I'm taking them at plus the 2.5. I would love to be getting the 3.
I'm sure you would love to get the 3.
And I'm sure at game time on Sunday it will be 3.
If it's 3, I wouldn't be totally convinced on the Bucks because it's like right about where I think it could finish.
Got ya. So last week I brought up a stat that said if you look at the Sagarin ratings, and if one team has a strength of schedule rating of more than 10 spots, they usually do well against the spread. And there's a big difference between the strength of schedule between the Rams and the Bucks. The Bucks are 30, the Rams I think were 12. Pretty big difference. They are ranked number 2 and number 3 in the Sagarin ratings. So they're close. 2 and 3 or 3 and 4. They're right next to each other.
Mm-hmm.
But it's interesting that the Rams are 1 and 4 against top 10 teams. Any guess who the win was?
The Cardinals?
No.
The Rams. Who did the Rams beat? Did they beat the Packers this year?
No.
Tampa?
Yeah. Week 4 out in Los Angeles was Battle of the Unbeatens at that time, if I remember correctly. But Tampa had just come off of a big win. I think it was against New Orleans or somebody. They just,
New Orleans, I don't think either time this year.
They came off a big win against somebody. That might have been New England. They had to go to New England and then they had to go to LA. I'm pretty sure that's what it was. That they had to go to New England and then LA the week after.
Yeah, they beat New England 19-17. Yeah. No, they beat the Falcons 48-25 in week 2. Then they went to the Rams and lost by 10. Then they beat the Patriots.
They beat New England. Okay, so I have no idea what the fuck I'm talking about. Personally, I think the Rams have the better team. All around, they have the better team. Without a doubt in my mind, position by position matchup, they have the better team. The question is Tom Brady going to be Tom Brady and will them to win the game? I'm hoping that the answer is no.
I think most people are.
Yes.
Even though I think I'd rather see the Bucks win as long as the Packers win, because I think the Packers have an easier time with Tampa then.
See, I don't. Didn't Green Bay play LA? They did, and LA was a favorite in that game at Green Bay, and they lost.
Yeah, I believe so.
And that wasn't all that long ago.
Let me look. Looking. They beat the Rams 36-28 at home.
Yeah. And they were an underdog in that game.
Probably.
So we differ on this game.
Yeah, the Rams were a 1.5 favorite.
Now, what I don't like about this game is, so the Rams had to play the Monday night game. Now they got to fly across country to play an early Sunday game. So of course Tom Brady gets an advantage there. Tom Brady, since he's been with Tampa, has not played good at night. And now he's got an afternoon game instead of the night game.
Which, I agree, if you're going to have this on Sunday, that should probably be the day.
I could understand why Buffalo, Kansas City is the night game. I mean, that is a pretty marquee matchup. I get it.
And it's going to be for the next century.
It's just, I don't know. So what's your bet on this game?
I have 3.
Okay.
I have 3.
What's the main one for the contest?
My main one is Tom Brady over 1.5 yards rushing. Because you're not getting plus money. You're getting plus money on one other bet. I think laying 107 for that.
Okay, so now you just got to be careful of kneel downs at the end of the game if they're winning.
Yeah, no, because he'll probably rush for about like 8 yards, and it's whether those kneel downs will kill me or not.
Yeah. Yeah. So what are your other ones, by the way?
My other 2 plays, they're the same thing. I have Gronkowski to score because you said he always scores. So
in the playoffs.
Why not? You're getting plus money.
Yeah.
And I have Cooper Kupp to score a touchdown as well.
Oh wow, you're probably giving like minus 812 with that one.
130.
Really? That's it? Minus 130. I mean, I understand that it's minus. I think it's probably a little low at minus 130.
130, 140, somewhere in there.
Okay. I thought I had it down to 2, and the one I didn't pick was Cooper Kupp's passing yards at 102.5, I believe it was.
I saw that.
Mine
one.
is
a little high. I feel like for him to get that many yards, you gotta hope he breaks something long.
Well, the other one that I thought about playing was Gronk, longest catch to be under 21.5 yards.
Yeah, he's kind of a tank. He can't get that far down the field.
Well, yeah, but the Rams cover the tight ends well. He did have 55 yards in their first game with 4 catches.
No one can cover Gronk. No one.
But my official play is Matthew Stafford to throw at least 1 interception in the game.
Yeah.
So I have over a half interceptions.
I can see that one.
Yeah. Yes. All right. The final game, the night game, the marquee game. Buffalo Bills going on the road to Kansas City. They are getting 2 points. So Kansas City is a 2-point favorite, and the over-under a high 54. Now, these teams did play earlier in the year. It was Columbus Day weekend because I was driving home from the Danny Wiseman tournament listening to the game on the radio. Buffalo destroyed Kansas City that day. Destroyed them.
They beat them 38-20.
And the game wasn't that close. It was not. All right. if I remember correctly, we both have Buffalo winning this game in our bracket.
Yep.
So obviously we know we're both taking the +2.
Yep.
As well. So that must mean basically our handicap to this game is probably the same. Buffalo is just the better team with better players.
I'm 50-50 on that. I just think Buffalo got hot at the right time.
Mm-hmm.
And the Chiefs are like, I don't want to say they're on a downward spiral since they won the Super Bowl, but it's almost kind of like that.
Okay.
Like, they just seem to get a little worse every year.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, it's not like Mahomes is getting worse. I think just maybe the team around him is getting worse.
Got ya.
So, and you're only as good as your line. So if your line gets worse by a player every year, well, you're just going to get worse. And I think the Bills are finally. I don't think they're there yet, but I think they're there to beat the Chiefs and make it to the AFC title game.
Got ya. My only concern for this game, and I believe this, that the Bills' best cornerback is out for this game. They do have a cornerback that's out. He tore his ACL back in November. Trey Davos, or whatever his name is.
Getting the injury report right now. Because it's not on
And I think he was their best cornerback.
Yeah. I don't know, but he is on injured reserve.
Yes. So what's your play for this game?
My play for this game is Josh Allen over 1.5 touchdown passes.
Josh Allen over 1.5 TD passes. Okay. I like that play. The play that I wanted to take isn't up at Barstool. You can find it at other shops. This is why you should have multiple books. And that was that there will be a 4th down conversion in this game. I think the teams are going to go for it a lot on 4th down, so the chances of you having a 4th down conversion are pretty good. But you would pay a lot of juice on that. So the play that I took, I didn't understand why the odds were what the odds were. So the line on the game at the present time is 2. Okay? But at Barstool, you could get Buffalo first quarter plus 1.5.
They've had first quarter up, I think, almost all year.
Yeah, but why is the line 2 when you're getting 1.5 in the first quarter?
Yeah, you should probably be.
It should be plus 0.5.
Yeah.
At plus 0.5, I'm still taking it. I'm still taking it at plus 0.5. But I don't understand at plus 1.5. The Bills, their last 8 games have allowed next to nothing in the first quarter. They've hardly given up points at all in the first quarter. And it's not like Kansas City starts their games in a ball of fire. They were scoreless after the first quarter last week against Pittsburgh. So I love my 1.5. I would have loved it at 0.5 because if it's a tie, I win. So I have Buffalo plus 1.5 in the first quarter. So our plays.
In their last 5 games, they've given up 2 points.
2 points.
In the first quarter.
And I believe it's the last 8 games they've given up 2 points in the first quarter.
They gave up, in the last 6, they gave up a touchdown to Tampa.
Okay, so it is their last 5.
And
so you have Cincinnati over 10 first half, over 10.5 in the first half. You have Jimmy G over 237.5 yards passing. You have Tom Brady over 1.5 yards rushing. You have Josh Allen over 1.5 touchdown passes. I have Cincinnati, Tennessee over 23.5 first half. I have George Kittle more than 46.5 receiving yards. I have Matthew Stafford over a half an interception. I have Buffalo plus 1.5 first quarter. Our forced plays were you have Cincy. I have Tennessee. We both have Green Bay. You have Tampa. I have the Rams. And we both have Buffalo. And they are, by the way, our straight up picks, too. So neither of us went the other way on straight up one side and the line on the other side.
The only game I even thought about was the 49ers.
Yeah. I know.
And that game, it's either going to be 5, 6, 7, somewhere in there.
Josh says Josh Allen will run one in. Well,
I don't want him to run when it passes. Just shuffle it. Shuffle it or something.
Shuffle it or something.
Does a pitch count as a pass?
If it's forward, yes. Not
No,
backwards. Not
What
backwards.
was the one game last week where there was 2 forward passes and then they threw it again forward? That was hilarious.
And you know the first one wasn't all that much forward.
I yelled. I'm like, "That's forward!" And they did it again. I'm like, "That's even more forward!" Like, what is this? What game was that?
It was.
Was it the Cardinals game?
Yeah, it was. I believe.
Oh yeah, after when he should have took the safety. What? In that situation, you should just take the ball and take it. 2 points, because then you just throw it and then.
Yeah,
he gets intercepted.
He had a bad game again. Another quarterback on his first road game in the playoffs.
Really?
Yeah.
Didn't they make the playoffs last year?
No.
They had a home game? They didn't make the playoffs last year? I thought they did. I swear the Cardinals made the playoffs last year, but okay.
I don't believe so. I could be wrong. Again, what the fuck do I know?
Here. 20 NFL playoffs. Bracket. No, they didn't. That's 2019. Good one. No. The Rams and the Seahawks did.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I saw, speaking of the Seahawks, some clown on Twitter wrote that Russell Wilson had 3 more touchdown passes, or like had he missed playing 3 games and he wasn't himself for 3 more games getting healthy, and he still had more touchdown passes than like half the quarterbacks that made it to the playoffs. Okay, so that just means Seattle sucked and had to pass the ball a lot.
Yeah, they didn't have a defense in Seattle.
And the teams that were making the playoffs, ran the ball more. They didn't need passing touchdowns. You're just a fucking idiot.
Yeah, it's a pretty dumb
Seriously.
remark.
It was. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is our show for the evening. What are your plans for this weekend? I know you got some hockey to go see.
Hockey.
Friday and Saturday, or just Friday?
Friday and Saturday.
Okay.
So I probably won't. I don't know.
I got to drive out to Mechanicsburg on Sunday.
I'll stream on Sunday.
Get a good breakfast.
There you go.
Yeah.
I'll have some coffee.
There you go. Hopefully they have different potatoes. Last year the potatoes, they weren't the potatoes they used to have there. It was instead of grilling potatoes, they were deep fried potatoes, and they were tiny, so there was a lot of crunch to them. It was really weird. It was more like broken pieces of McDonald's hash brown potatoes. It was weird.
Interesting.
Yeah. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in tonight. You guys have a great weekend, whatever you do. For those of you that are going to try to wax the bunghole, may I suggest you just not getting any wax in the bunghole. You know,
That might hurt.
once if it cools and hardens, maybe I don't know. You know.
Yeah.
You want to talk about a hemorrhoid flare-up. Woo! Wave goodbye, the good folks. I'm going to bed. It's way past my bedtime now. See ya.